had to have some faith in order to stay on that road and travel like that, knowing that you're just as good as a white ball player, but you never will get that chance.
They were America's favorite barnstorming baseball team. Colorful and controversial, they combined comedy with serious, hard-nosed baseball. Their routines included a phantom game that featured an imaginary ball and athletes so talented that audiences swore the game was real. The team was the Indianapolis Clowns, and the game was shadow ball.
A lot of times we played 3 or 4 games a day, which was very, very interesting at times, you know, because we might play early in the morning, then we play at noon, then we play in the afternoon, then we play at night.
Mile after mile, night after night, facing segregation and a grueling schedule, barnstorming black baseball teams toured the country, one small town at a time. Fans embraced them for their talent and cursed them for their race. This was the life of the Indianapolis Clowns.
At that time, there were very few hotels would let African Americans stay there. So to see these guys travel like they did, and you know, hotels somewhere they were not as fortunate as maybe Indianapolis even, as having 2 or 3 hotels. Some little towns they go in, they'd have to go 50 to 60 miles to a hotel, then come to the ball diamond, okay?
It was difficult for the Clowns and other black barnstorming teams to draw enough fans to make money and survive on the road. To attract greater interest, many promoters, such as Clowns owner Sid Pollock, added old vaudeville acts and comedy routines as pre-game entertainment.
They would have their little skit that they would do during the game, you know, like a guy would knock a home run and they would run all the way around the bases, and the guy would take an imaginary ball and throw it in the home plate. The catcher would catch it, and the guy would get right in front of the catcher and say, "Stop real quick," and point up in the air, and the catcher would look up, and the guy would slide in, and the crowd would just go bananas.
Controversy surrounded the Clowns. Grass skirts and war paint reflected the stereotypes of the era. In 1942, the Negro National League issued a statement banning league teams from playing the Clowns, believing their antics were a detriment to Negro League ball. The Clowns endured social pressures from whites and blacks as they struggled to continue playing the game they loved.
It took a lot of guts and faith in order to hang out like that. I mean, they were gentlemen's gentlemen, you know. They were athletes, so, you know, when they put the uniform on, they weren't clowns.
Their antics belied their incredible athletic skills. One of the Clowns' best entertainers was Richard King, known as King Tut. For an amazing 23 seasons, King kept fans in stitches with outrageous outfits, an oversized mitt, and his sense of humor. James Nature Boy Williams was the Clowns' rotund first baseman. Often sporting a dress, Williams' antics were upstaged by his powerful hitting and deceptive speed. The Clowns even signed the first woman in professional ball, Toni Stone, who later played in the Negro National League. One of the most athletic players on the squad was Sam Bryson, known to fans as Birmingham Sam.
He was a good comedian, plus he was a good baseball player. Yeah, I seen him be catching, the man be on first, and the man take off at second, and he throw between his legs and throw the man out at second. And I couldn't believe it. I mean, between his legs, I ain't talking about. And you know, it was amazing to me he could do stuff like that.
In 1952, an 18-year-old rookie from Mobile, Alabama came to the Clowns for a tryout. His name was Henry Aaron. When he left home, Aaron's mom sent with him a bag of sandwiches, $2 cash, and a note for the team's manager. Forget everything else about this player, she wrote. Just watch his bat. Sid Pollock signed him to the club for $50 a week and added a new suitcase as a signing bonus. In one of his first exhibitions, Aaron hit safely 7 out of 9 times and hammered his first professional home run. After 6 weeks of sensational play, Aaron received many offers from professional scouts. Sid Pollock eventually sold Aaron's contract to the Boston Braves for $10,000.
A lot of time we go to a town, like we get there 6 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning. We had to stay on the bus to the next morning, and we just got through playing it late that night. So sometimes we might travel 300 or 400 miles, to the next game, stuff like that. But it was something, I tell you.
The Clowns spent most of the time on the road, but the team still needed a place to call home. For a time in 1943, the team played its home games at Crosley Field, home of the Cincinnati Reds. But the Reds management did not allow a black team to shower or dress in the locker rooms. Cincinnati's policies on segregation outraged Owen J. Bush, owner of the Indianapolis Indians. Bush, who owned Victory Field, insisted the Clowns come to Indianapolis and establish their home base in an atmosphere free of racial prejudice.
Oney Bush took a lot of heat for letting the black team come there for that stadium, okay? But he did it, and he was kind of a pioneer.
Throughout the years, the Indianapolis Clowns were black baseball's biggest draw. Surrounded by turmoil, they brought excitement and entertainment to the game. Historians debate their place in baseball history, but without a doubt, the Clowns thrived on a tour filled with laughter, talent, and a deep-seated passion for the game.
Indianapolis Clowns would be one team you could think about. If I had the Hall of Fame, that's one team I would consider putting in the Hall of Fame, because the name did not match the quality of athletes that they had on that team.
Baseball was my life at one time. I just loved the game, I just loved the game.